to ask you to please Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Commanding Officer, Officer Training Command Newport, Officer Candidate School, Class 01, are encouraged party. Ladies and gentlemen, Chaplain Sutphin will now offer the invocation.
Let us pray. Eternal Father, we come to you in prayer as our first and highest duty, offering our grateful praise for your abundant goodness. Make us aware of your presence and be known among us as the author of strength, mercy, and joy. The character of Class 0120 has been established through suffering and toil. They have been tested and found worthy. May this be no transitory state. May they be known while they serve throughout their lives and long after for their consummate integrity. What they have gained in knowledge and physical strength, match for them now in spiritual will to accomplish far greater things in service to the fleet, the nation, and the world. And may they always recall fondly their formative moments on these grounds. Bless each member of this class team by the measure of what they have generously given. Let them be encouraged by the continued success of these new ensigns. Guide us to honor those united in applause today and the many more they represent who were active in the course of events that lead now to this celebration. Faithfully we offer these prayers to you, O God, our refuge and shield. Bless those who go forth to stand the watch. May all here gathered find ourselves daily restored, confirmed, strengthened, and established by your mighty hand. In your holy name, amen.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, Captain Mark Nicholson, Commanding Officer, Officer Training Command Newport.
Admiral Price, captains, colonels, distinguished guests, family members, friends, and most importantly, soon-to-be commissioned ensigns of Class 0120. Good morning.
Good morning, sir!
It's my sincere honor and privilege to be with all of you this morning to recognize and celebrate the achievement of these 83 young men and women sitting in front of me. America's very best and brightest, as they are commissioned as the newest ensigns in the United States Navy. For the families, I want to thank you not only for making the long trip to be here this morning, but for the performance of your sons and daughters, husbands and wives, brothers and sisters. Your love and support have helped produce the quality individuals seated here, enabled our outstanding team of recruit division commanders, drill instructors, and class officers to further develop them mentally, morally, and physically into future leaders of character and competence. On behalf of the Navy and on behalf of a grateful nation, thank you for your efforts. For Class 0120, the profession of naval officers, much like the medical and law professions, requires its members to take an oath. In just a few minutes, your parents, spouses, and loved ones, along with the OTC staff and myself, will bear witness as you raise your right hand and swear a sacred oath to support and defend the Constitution. This oath carries far more obligations than privileges, carries the obligation to serve in the most trusted institution in America. According to Gallup polls that stretch back for more than a decade, the American people trust the military more than any other institution. A list that includes Supreme Court, Congress, organized religion, police, public schools, our medical system, and our criminal justice system. It is up to you to maintain this trust. As George Washington once stated in an address to the officers of the Virginia Regiment, remember that it is the actions and not the commission that make the officer, and there is more expected from him or her than the title. As an officer, you will lead and mentor what is truly one of our most valuable national assets, the enlisted men and women of our Navy. The American people are trusting you to care for and lead them in defending our Constitution. I challenge you to maintain and build upon the American people's trust through your actions as a naval officer. I'm extremely proud of the effort you've expended over the last couple of months. It's my pleasure and honor to welcome all of you as naval officers into the wardroom of the world's greatest Navy. I have another honor and privilege this morning, that of introducing our guest speaker, Rear Admiral Gene Price. His extensive bio can be found in your programs, but I'll hit a few highlights. He was commissioned as an intelligence officer in 1986 and commanded at all levels, including Navy Reserve Naval Forces Central Command, United States Pacific Command's Joint Detachment in Minneapolis, and Naval Intelligence Reserve Region Southeast in Jacksonville, Florida. After promoting to flag rank, he was recalled to active duty to serve as Deputy Commander of Fleet Cyber Command, U.S. 10th Fleet, in 2015. And he also served as Commander of Office of Naval Intelligence and Director of National Maritime Intelligence Integration Office. Currently, he is Commander, Naval Information Force Reserve. Please join me in welcoming this morning's guest speaker, Rear Admiral Gene Price.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Well done. Every one of you all, extremely well done. So I'm going to talk past you guys for just a minute, over you too. I want to talk to your family. I want to talk to your parents. I want to talk to the people that you love, the people that love you. Yesterday when you saw these very, very sharp men and women, before you ran your fingers through their hair, before you looked into their eyes and tried to get a glimpse of their soul, before you patted their sides and tried to see how much weight they'd lost, you probably saw something different. They were standing a little straighter. They were standing a little taller. And they probably looked you right in the eye every time they spoke. And you might have been surprised by how many yes sirs and no ma'ams you heard. That is because they are not the same children, sons and daughters, brothers and sisters, that you left with us 90 days ago. They are now part of a profession of arms. And the molding that this crew here to my right has done with them is what many countries would consider extraordinary, because the officer candidate school can turn out a product like this group of young men and women to take their place alongside of everyone else that we have working in the Navy in extraordinary fashion and in a condensed period of time. So Skipper, along with Lieutenant Webster, Lieutenant Capillotti, Gunny McGovern, and Chacon, and Chief Abel, thank you for what you do for the nation. This proud assemblage could not be here without your efforts. And I would like personally to give you a round of applause. So I know many of you are new to the Navy, and you might not really understand what the Navy does. And there's going to be times when these young men and women in front of you here are not going to be able to tell you much about what they do. So there's two critical things that the Navy is charged by the Congress, as directed by the President, to do. Number one, we keep the sea lanes of communication open. Wherever it is in the world, where anybody or anything or any nation says, this is ours, you can't go there, and under international law, we go there. The Navy does it almost every day. The second thing we do, in addition to keeping those sea lines of communication open so we can do commerce, is we make sure that nothing's going to happen to you at night. The Atlantic and the Pacific at one time were vast barriers to anyone that wanted to aggress against the United States. Those days are over. And now it's the Navy's job to make sure that nothing happens to you. And since World War II, I think proudly we've done a pretty good job of that. But now we've got a new era that the Secretary of Defense is calling the era of great power competition. Much of the nation is still focused on counterterrorism, the aftermath of 9/11, the days when some of these new officers were still in kindergarten, grade school, and it's but a history lesson to them. For you, it's real. But now we're looking at what's going on in the South China Sea, and you've probably seen what happens on 60 Minutes when a correspondent flew with a U.S. Navy airplane in international airspace and was told to get out, move, by the People's Liberation Army, Navy, or the People's Republic of China, or be shot down. That Navy airplane did not move, and it did exactly what it was allowed to do under international law. And you go up, that's Third Fleet's problem. You go up to Seventh Fleet, Sea of Japan, ballistic missile defense. The North Koreans have been firing missiles. It's been in all the newspapers, I'm sure you've seen it, over Japan and into the Sea of Japan. The Navy is tasked there to make sure that none of those missiles ever reach the United States. That's what Seventh Fleet is doing. Come over to the Straits of Hormuz right now, and you've seen it with Secretary Pompeo and the President calling out the Iranians for placing mines on tankers, for attacking oil fields in Saudi Arabia with UAVs. And that's Fifth Fleet. They've got to take care of that problem. And then you come over to the Mediterranean, where the U.S. Sixth Fleet is. They have to cope with a resurgent Russia. And many more submarines are coming underway than we've seen in years. So all in all, these young men and women have a big job ahead of them. And this is the end of the beginning for them. Class 0120 is now well prepared to go and do what they have to do in the training. And I hope that you guys, and I'm speaking to you now, you all take a little time for yourselves because you've earned it. Enjoy this time off. It'll go way too fast. And it might be very quick for some of you. But relish it. And then when you report for duty at your next training session, you need to be ready, thinking, reflective, thorough, ask questions, challenge presumptions. That's what good officers do. And that's what the flag community expects of you. And we know you can do it. My boss at 10th Fleet, when I was a deputy commander there, was Admiral Mike Gilday. He's now the Chief of Naval Operations, and he had a quote that he would say quite often whenever we would have an all hands, and that is this: be ready to do more than you expect, because the Navy will ask you to do much more than you think. 75 years ago this month, there was a invasion of Luzon in the Philippines. 25,000 sailors, Marines, and soldiers were very vulnerable. They were in a bunch of landing ships off Samar Island, and they were being protected by a bunch of aircraft carriers that inexplicably left to go attack a Japanese fleet. And so they were completely exposed, and out of the blue at 0500 in the morning came 5 Japanese battleships, 11 Japanese cruisers, 5 destroyers, and they came at high speed, barreling straight for those 25,000 sailors, Marines, and airmen, sailors, who had absolutely no protection except for 5 destroyers. All they had was 5-inch guns against 5 battleships, 11 cruisers, and all those destroyers. It was madness to do anything other than retreat. But 75 years ago, those 5 destroyers, without blinking, without orders, every single one of them turned and attacked those Japanese battleships. 4 of them were sunk. But they damaged the Japanese fleet so badly that it had to retreat. And those 25,000 Americans on those landing crafts survived. And they completed the invasion of the Philippines, which led to a quick conclusion of World War II. You are now a part of that lineage. This is your heritage. You are now a part of the brotherhood and sisterhood of arms that has men and women like that in our midst. And I hope for the rest of your life that no matter where you go and no matter what you do, you will be able to say with a great deal of pride and satisfaction whenever anyone asks you what makes your life meaningful, look them in the eye and say, I serve in the United States Navy. Congratulations. God bless you all.
The graduating class will now receive the oath of office. Would all military personnel in uniform please come to the position of attention? Class 0120, raise your right hand.
Repeat after me. I state your name. Having been appointed an ensign in the United States Navy. Do hereby accepting said appointment. Do hereby solemnly swear. That I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Against all enemies. Foreign and domestic. And that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. Without any hesitation. Or purpose of evasion. And I undertake this obligation willingly. Without any hesitation or purpose of evasion. And that I will well and faithfully. Execute the duties of the office. On which I'm about to enter. So help me God. Congratulations.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The graduates assembled will now be recognized by the commanding officer and Rear Admiral Price for their achievements while undergoing training here at Officer Training Command Newport. Ensign Buzan. Ensign Buzan has been designated a nuclear submarine warfare officer and will be assigned to Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina. Ensign Buzan is a graduate of Massachusetts Maritime Academy. Ensign Caraballo. Ensign Caraballo has been designated an information professional and will be assigned to Information Warfare School in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Caraballo is a graduate of Eastern Michigan University. Ensign Konstantakis. Ensign Konstantakis has been designated a nuclear surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Halsey, DDG-97 in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Ensign Konstantakis is a graduate of Penn State University. Ensign Crespo. Ensign Crespo has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Curtis Wilbur, DDG-54 in Yokosuka, Japan. Ensign Crespo is a graduate of Excelsior College. Ensign Cuevas. Ensign Cuevas has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Macon Island, LHD-8 in San Diego, California. Ensign Cuevas is a graduate of the University of California, Riverside. Ensign Young. Ensign Young has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS San Diego, LPD-22 in San Diego, California. Ensign Young is a graduate of the University of Houston, Texas. Ensign Evaristo. Ensign Evaristo has been designated a Civil Engineer Corps officer and will be assigned to Civil Engineer Corps Officers School in Port Hueneme, California. Ensign Evaristo is a graduate of Texas A&M University. Ensign Farias. Ensign Farias has been designated an Aerospace Maintenance Duty Officer and will be assigned to Strike Fighter Squadron 41 in Lemoore, California. Ensign Farias is a graduate of Grantham University. Ensign Ford. Ensign Ford has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Roosevelt, DDG-80 in Mayport, Florida. Ensign Ford is a graduate of Excelsior College. Ensign Idogdiev. Ensign Idogdiev has been designated an Intelligence Officer and will be assigned to Information Warfare School in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Idogdiev is a graduate of Troy University. Ensign Foster. Ensign Foster has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Foster is a graduate of Texas A&M University. Ensign Gilchrist. Ensign Gilchrist has been designated a Nuclear Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Germantown, LSD-42 in Sasebo, Japan. Ensign Gilchrist is a graduate of Swarthmore College. Ensign Gomison. Ensign Gomison has been designated a Civil Engineer Corps Officer and will be assigned to Expeditionary Combat School in Gulfport, Mississippi. Ensign Gomison is a graduate of Western Michigan University. Ensign Graham. Ensign Graham has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Graham is a graduate of San Diego State University. Ensign Greiner. Ensign Greiner has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Greiner is a graduate of Florida State University. Ensign Holt. Ensign Holt has been designated a Student Naval Aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Holt is a graduate of the University of Massachusetts, Amherst. Ensign Inman. Ensign Inman has been designated an Intelligence Officer and will be assigned to Information Warfare School in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Inman is a graduate of Francis Marion University. Ensign Jackson. Ensign Jackson has been designated a Student Naval Flight Officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Jackson is a graduate of Virginia Polytechnic Institute and State University. Ensign Kitchen. Ensign Kitchen has been designated an Intelligence Officer and will be assigned to Information Warfare School in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Kitchen is a graduate of Vanderbilt University. Ensign Latta. Ensign Latta has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS John S. McCain, DDG-56 in Yokosuka, Japan. Ensign Latta is a graduate of St. Joseph University. Ensign Lee. Ensign Lee has been designated a Student Naval Flight Officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Lee is a University of Florida. Ensign Leyva Vera. Ensign Leyva Vera has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Cowpens, CG-63 in San Diego, California. Ensign Leyva Vera is a graduate of California State University, San Marcos. Ensign Martin. Ensign Martin has been designated a Nuclear Submarine Warfare Officer and will be assigned to Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina. Ensign Martin is a graduate of the University of California, Santa Barbara. Ensign Martin. Ensign Martin has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Green Bay, LPD-20, in Sasebo, Japan. Ensign Martin is a graduate of University of South Carolina. Ensign Melendez. Ensign Melendez has been designated a Nuclear Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Ashland, LSD-48, in Sasebo, Japan. Ensign Melendez is a graduate of New York University. Ensign Menke. Ensign Menke has been designated an Information Professional and will be assigned to Information Warfare School in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Menke is a graduate of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. Ensign Nicoloso. Ensign Nicoloso has been assigned a Student Naval Flight Officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Nicoloso is a graduate of Rutgers University. Ensign Faro. Ensign Faro has been designated a Supply Corps Officer and will be assigned to Navy Supply Corps Officer School in Newport, Rhode Island. Ensign Faro is a graduate of Old Dominion University. Ensign Prince. Ensign Prince has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Paul Ignatius, DDG-117 in Newport, Florida. Ensign Prince is a graduate of St. Leo University. Ensign Pouzan. Ensign Pouzan has been designated an intelligence officer and will be assigned to Information Warfare School in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Pouzan is a graduate of the University of Evansville. Ensign Richardson. Ensign Richardson has been designated an information professional and will be assigned to the USS Ronald Reagan, CVN-76 in Yokosuka, Japan. Ensign Richardson is a graduate of Campbell University. Ensign Roman. Ensign Roman has been designated an aerospace maintenance duty officer and will be assigned to Helicopter Sea Combat Squadron 7 in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Roman is a graduate of York College of Pennsylvania. Ensign Roth. Ensign Roth has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Roth is a graduate of the University of Florida. Ensign Shao. Ensign Shao has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Howard, DDG-83 in San Diego, California. Ensign Shao is a graduate of Missouri State University. Ensign Smith. Ensign Smith has been designated a Civil Engineer Corps officer and will be assigned to Public Works Department in Annapolis. Ensign Smith is a graduate of Clemson University. Ensign Stozer. Ensign Stozer has been designated an intelligence officer and will be assigned to Information Warfare School in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Stozer is a graduate of Augustana University. Ensign Stoffe. Ensign Stoffe has been designated an intelligence officer and will be assigned to Information Warfare School in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Stoffe is a graduate of the University of Colorado. Ensign Strader. Ensign Strader has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Shoup, DDG-86 in San Diego, California. Ensign Strader is a graduate of Eastern Illinois University. Ensign Swaby. Ensign Swaby has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Lake Champlain, CG-57 in San Diego, California. Ensign Swaby is a graduate of the University of South Florida. Ensign Swanson. Ensign Swanson has been designated a nuclear submarine warfare officer and will be assigned to Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina. Ensign Swanson is a graduate of Baylor University. Ensign Sonny. Ensign Sonny has been designated a nuclear submarine warfare officer and will be assigned to Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina. Ensign Sonny is a graduate of Seton Hall University. Ensign Vargas. Ensign Vargas has been designated an aerospace maintenance duty officer and will be assigned to Carrier Airborne Early Warning Squadron 116 in Point Mugu, California. Ensign Vargas is a graduate of Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. Ensign Wooten. Ensign Wooten has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Mesa Verde, LPD-19 in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Wooten is a graduate of the University of Louisiana at Lafayette. Ensign Miller. Ensign Miller has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Miller is a graduate of the University of Hawaii. Ensign Jackson. Ensign Jackson has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Eisenhower, CVN-69 in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Jackson is a graduate of Liberty University. Ensign Farabee. Ensign Farabee has been designated a nuclear submarine warfare officer and will be assigned to Nuclear Power School, Charleston, South Carolina. Ensign Farabee is a graduate of the University of South Carolina. Ensign Walcott. Ensign Walcott has been designated a nuclear surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Kearsarge, LHD-3 in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Walcott is a graduate of Gannon University. Ensign Serban. Ensign Serban has been designated a nuclear surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Gunston Hall, LSD-44, in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Serbin is a graduate of the University of Connecticut. Ensign Tracy. Ensign Tracy has been designated an Aerospace Maintenance Duty Officer and will be assigned to Helicopter Sea Combat Squadron 28 in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Tracy is a graduate of Southern New Hampshire University. Ensign Ballou. Ensign Ballou has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Mommsen, DDG 92 in Everett, Washington. Ensign Ballou is a graduate of National University. Ensign Lewis. Ensign Lewis has been designated an Intelligence Officer and will be assigned to Information Warfare School in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Lewis is a graduate of the Chicago School of Professional Psychology. Ensign Sessions. Ensign Sessions has been designated a Nuclear Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Sampson, DDG 102 in Everett, Washington. Ensign Sessions is a graduate of Brigham Young University. Ensign Beasley Wadzinski. Ensign Beasley Wadzinski has been designated a Supply Corps Officer and will be assigned to Navy Supply Corps Officer School in Newport, Rhode Island. Ensign Beasley Wadzinski is a graduate of Chaminade University of Honolulu. Ensign Brink. Ensign Brink has been designated a Nuclear Submarine Warfare Officer and will be assigned to Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina. Ensign Brink is a graduate of the University of Akron. Ensign Bugelin. Ensign Bugelin has been designated a Nuclear Submarine Warfare Officer and will be assigned to Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina. Ensign Bugelin is a graduate of the University of California, Berkeley. Ensign Cuvion. Ensign Cuvion has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Kearsarge, LHD-3 in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Cuvion is a graduate of Thomas Edison State University. Ensign Doe. Ensign Doe has been designated an Engineering Duty Officer and will be assigned to the USS Zumwalt, DG 1000 in San Diego, California. Ensign Doe is a graduate of Texas Tech University. Ensign Dolores. Ensign Dolores has been designated an Intelligence Officer and will be assigned to Information Warfare School in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Dolores is a graduate of the University of California, Irvine. Ensign Fillmore. Ensign Fillmore has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Spruance, DDG 111 in San Diego, California. Ensign Fillmore is a graduate of Purdue Global University. Ensign Fox. Ensign Fox has been designated an Information Professional and will be assigned to Information Warfare School in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Fox is a graduate of the University of Nebraska at Lincoln. Ensign Frazier. Ensign Frazier has been designated a Nuclear Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Fitzgerald, DDG 62 in San Diego, California. Ensign Frazier is a graduate of the University of Rhode Island. Ensign Garant. Ensign Grant has been designated a Student Naval Flight Officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Grant is a graduate of Old Dominion University. Ensign Gills. Ensign Gills has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Spruance, DG 111 in San Diego, California. Ensign Gills is a graduate of Virginia Commonwealth University. Ensign Gregg. Ensign Gregg has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Gettysburg, CG-64 in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Gregg is a graduate of Texas A&M University. Ensign Hoover. Ensign Hoover has been designated a Nuclear Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Rafael Peralta, DDG-115 in San Diego, California. Ensign Hoover is a graduate of West Virginia University. Ensign Hummel. Ensign Hummel has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS John Paul Jones, DDG-53 in Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. Ensign Hummel is a graduate of Mercyhurst University. Ensign Kiefer. Ensign Kiefer has been designated a Student Naval Flight Officer and will be assigned to Aviation Pre-Flight Indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Kiefer is a graduate of American Military University. Ensign Keene. Ensign Keene has been designated an Information Professional and will be assigned to Information Warfare School in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Keene is a graduate of the University of Central Florida. Ensign Keith. Ensign Keith has been designated a Surface Warfare Officer and will be assigned to the USS Shoup, DDG-86 in San Diego, California. Ensign Keith is a graduate of Salisbury University. Ensign Croak. Ensign Croak has been designated a nuclear surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Whidbey Island, LSD-41, in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Croak is a graduate of Clarkson University. Ensign Lee. Ensign Lee has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Lee is a graduate of Brigham Young University. Ensign Malik. Ensign Malik has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Ashland, LSD-48, in Sasebo, Japan. Ensign Malik is a graduate of Southeastern Louisiana University. Ensign Marks. Ensign Marks has been designated an intelligence officer and will be assigned to Information Warfare School in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Marks is a graduate of the University of Michigan. Ensign McLaughlin. Ensign McLaughlin has been designated an intelligence officer and will be assigned to Information Warfare School in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign McLaughlin is a graduate of the University of Virginia. Ensign Meese. Ensign Meese has been designated a nuclear surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Roosevelt, DDG-80, in Newport, Florida. Ensign Meese is a graduate of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute. Ensign Pacheco. Ensign Pacheco has been designated a nuclear submarine warfare officer and will be assigned to Naval Nuclear Power School in Charleston, South Carolina. Ensign Pacheco is a graduate of the University of Texas at El Paso. Ensign Rafison. Ensign Rafison has been designated an information professional and will be assigned to Information Warfare School in Dam Neck, Virginia. Ensign Rafison is a graduate of Penn State University. Ensign Randolph. Ensign Randolph has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Fitzgerald, DDG-62, in San Diego, California. Ensign Randolph is a graduate of Ohio Northern University. Ensign Reese Herron. Ensign Reese Herron has been designated a surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Tortuga, LSD-46, in Little Creek, Virginia. Ensign Reese Herron is a graduate of Oral Roberts University. Ensign Ryer. Ensign Ryer has been designated a Civil Engineer Corps officer and will be assigned to Civil Engineer Corps Officer School in Port Hueneme, California. Ensign Ryer is a graduate of Messiah College. Ensign Ridley. Ensign Ridley has been designated a nuclear surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Iwo Jima, LHD-7, in Mayport, Florida. Ensign Ridley is a graduate of the University at Buffalo. Ensign Rosano. Ensign Rosano has been designated a nuclear surface warfare officer and will be assigned to the USS Arlington, LPD-28, in Norfolk, Virginia. Ensign Rosano is a graduate of the University of Arizona. Ensign Young. Ensign Young has been designated a student naval aviator and will be assigned to aviation pre-flight indoctrination in Pensacola, Florida. Ensign Young is a graduate of Southern Illinois University. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in recognizing the United States Navy's newest ensigns. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of the service songs and the final dismissal. Please. Please remain in your places until after the graduating class has taken their class photo. On behalf of the commanding officer, Officer Training Command Newport, thank you for attending today's ceremony. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the graduation ceremony.